Yo, how y'all doing tonight? Get a little things going on in the background. Hope all is well, but we can't start without giving you that good old What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? Welcome to the Thought and Talk podcast. This is episode 24. Man, the recession has come. Things are getting crazy out there. Things are getting crazy. Y'all already know. They telling you one day, they telling you that recession might be coming. One day they're telling you that we're over the hump and the recession is no longer here. Next thing you know, they're talking about the next recession and what we're going to do to get over it. And nobody really knows whether it's a recession or if it might be coming. If we're in the middle of it, upside down and left and right. But if you are in it, like I am, like most of the world is, y'all already know we in a recession. There is no about to be a recession. There is no almost. There is no sugarcoating it. They like to make you think that things are easier, things are getting better, or things are on the up and up to continue to make you spend money like you're crazy, to make you spend and continue to be a useless, mindless consumer, man. And that's not what we want. That's not what the people who really care about you want. And that's not really what I want for you guys. And yes, I am wearing shades tonight. I wanted to do something a little different, spice it up a little bit. Sometimes you gotta keep the relationship spicy in order to keep the fire alive. You can't just continue to do one thing, be a one trick pony, be a missionary man or a missionary Mike. Sometimes you gotta flip it over and do it from the side. Sometimes you gotta do it from a different angle. And tonight, that's what I'm doing, giving you guys this live stream, this broadcast, this podcast from a different angle. So guys, I hope you guys are doing all right. I'm hanging in there with the rest of you because I pride myself on this podcast, this channel, and these videos on being as transparent as I can. And what I like to do is let you know that I'm just like you guys. I will forever be like you guys, and never have and never will be a person of the machine, a person of the masses. And I just want you guys to know that whatever you guys go through, I go through it with you. We might go through it in different times. We might go through it in different ways, but I indeed go through it with you. I've seen the meat prices rise. I've seen food prices in general rise. Never in my life, and most of the people that have been, working for the last 10, 15 years, no matter what background you have, no matter what field you're working in, if you've been paying bills for the last decade, and you've been paying attention to what's been going on out here. But they, like I said before, they try to keep you mindless. They try to keep you not really paying attention to what's going on. But I see it. I know that chicken drumsticks were not $10 8 months ago. I know that chicken wings were not $15 a pack 8 months ago. So we're feeling it. What's going on? It's the inflation. The inflation is what's causing the recession. Things get higher, things get more expensive. And of course, when those things get more expensive, it tends to make people not want to spend more money. And when people not spend more money and put more money into the economy after they continue to print ungodly amounts of money. Hold on. I do have a sound for that. When they decide to spend ungodly amounts of money, that floods the economy, the market with money, the useless paper money. And then, of course, we have the inflation, and then that inflation causes a recession. Because if you're like me, I can see the difference. When I once could buy 6 bags with $100, I can now only buy 4 bags of the same food with that $100. And it begins to be, stressful, begins to get painful. And it begins to just get, even if it's not a big deal for you to go to the grocery store and spend that extra money, you still feel it. Who wants to spend extra money, especially when, you want to gain money, you want to gain wealth. You don't want to give it out when you're not wanting to give it out. and you're not wanting to do those those things like that, you want to gain, you want to hold on to the money. you don't want to spend it all up, especially when you get raises. You get raises, and whatever you're in this life, you get raises and you feel good. You're on the job and you're in your career and you get a raise, and then you get a couple raises and things are looking up and up, and then all of a sudden it's like you're living 5 years ago. 5 years ago. That's what they're saying. They're saying right now, they are saying that the average American is making 17% less money than they were before this crazy recession. 17% more. 17% more. And if you really look at it, if you have a knack for fractions, and if you can just visually see these things, these pie charts, because that's what I do. I can see it. I can visibly see and tell. It's just a gift of how much you could get before and how much you can get now. You don't even have to really count. You can just see it in the actual products that you're able to buy. And what I want to know, excuse me, by the way, what I want to try to do is try to help people get over that. That's what I want to try to do, because regardless if it's a recession, regardless if the inflation is high and is crazy, they're still going to want you to spend money in the economy. They're still going to want for you to flood the economy with now money that you really can't afford to spend, because 17% increase or 17% decrease in the money or the monetary gains that you made is substantial. But they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to pay attention to that. Of course, they want you to keep buying, ungodly amounts of clothes, hair, makeup, weave, food, unnecessary food to continue to. They don't want a recession. They want you to continue to spend. But if you're logical, you don't want to spend. And that's what I'm going to try to do, because we're not mindless drones here at the den. We're people that, we're survivors. We're perseverers. We're the ones that look the people in the eye and tell in defiance that we're not going to sit here and be the people that you want us to be. We're going to be something different, and we're going to continue to be something different until we get over that hump, and until we reach the levels that we want to reach in life and make it to the quote unquote promised land. And we won't sit here and be your drones, your puppet, your sheep, or everything in between. So that's what I want to do. I want to teach people how to really be diligent, be more self-sufficient, have more discipline. That's number one. You got to have more discipline to be able to do anything. You got to have more discipline to be able to save. You have to have more discipline to be able to get over or get through these things without having complete meltdowns. You guys remember, well, you don't remember, but I know you all studied. I'm a student of history. The 1921 recession, the first thing people did that were so used to having all of this extra money, having all of this extra monetary gain, they all of a sudden were not used to not having. And what did they do? A lot of them deleted. A lot of them self-deleted. A lot of them, jumped and perished and jumped to their depths because they weren't ready. They haven't saved. They didn't save. They couldn't get over the fact that they weren't going to make and weren't going to be making the money, and were not going to be living the lives that they once were living. And so, in turn, they rather go and leave and self-delete than sit here and have to be like the rest of you normal people. Jump straight to the depths. I don't know where my stuff went. Yeah, there you go. Yes, jump straight to the depths. And that's what I don't want for my people. Let's see real quick what we got in here for, excuse me, get that up there. Activate. All right, got that right there. And make sure to see who we got in the chat. Let's see, get this chat thing working, and then we'll be all right. Get down into the chat. I'm gonna well, I did get it. I did have it. I don't know why it's not there. It is. There you go. Just something about that old OBS. You just get used to it. Hey, how you doing, Bells? How you doing? Hope all is well. Don't need that on. Got Bells in the building. How you doing, Bells? I hope you're doing all right. The greatest moderator in the land. Greatest moderator in the land. How you doing, Bells? Make sure you got anybody else out there who actually said anything. And what do you got down here? Hey. Yeah. So get them down. Yeah, so that's what's going on, 17%, people making 17% less, people not really knowing how to, you can already see it, people are struggling. 32% of the homes say they can't make it the way they could before. 32% of the people out there are saying that they can no longer make ends meet. And you guys already know that Social Security is not going to be there. These social nets, these social programs that they put in place to pacify the people aren't going to be there anymore. And then what are you going to do? See, that's what I don't want for you. That's what I don't want for the people. The people to be out there, and the people to be out on the streets and having to fend for themselves like rabid dogs. I don't want that for you. I want you to be better than that. But like people said, it's going to get to a part that what you don't really see are the things you're going to be seeing now. Everybody's used to seeing homeless men on the street, and some women, but you don't really see women and children in mass living on the streets. That's what you're going to begin to see. People aren't ready. Rent has doubled and tripled. Different people told people to buy homes. A lot of the younger millennials, a lot of the Gen Z said they didn't want to really buy homes. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to be stuck down. And I get it. If you got a plan, there's no reason to really be tied down into a home. But having a home with a fixed interest rate is one of the things that can make you recession proof, because you're not recession proof when you're at the mercy of somebody else. And am I sounding all right? Every once in a while, I usually get the clipping when I was doing this thing on StreamYard. So I didn't really ask if you could hear a difference, or you can, is it any better than it was on StreamYard? So Bells, it seemed like you one of the only ones that are always in there. So make sure that my sound is good, since you are the number one moderator. Make sure that the sound is A-okay. And we're going to continue to keep going. Let me see. And it is rough, Bells. It is rough. And I hate it. And I hate it for people. And I hate having to deal with these things as well. But we're going to have to really dig down deep, really, really understand that there is nobody coming for us. There's nobody that is coming to make it better. There's nobody to come to rescue us. There's nobody coming to do any of that stuff. We are all on our own. And the good thing about it is that outside of the mainstream media, you got us here to be the voice of the people, to be the voice of rationality, not just sit there and be mindless drones to what's going on out there. And you have a lot of content creators that try to say these things, to try to tell people about masculinity, because men have really dropped the ball somewhat. And a lot of people can say that, or you can make the argument that we have a lot of men, raised a certain kind of way, by mothers and soft. What does the saying? What does the saying go? You guys remember the saying that strong men make good times make weak men make hard times, and that's where we're at. We had a generation, maybe two generations of weak men, and because these times in this country is so luxurious, whether you are at the top of the ladder or whether you're at the mid, this is a country where even the people that aren't making much, the less fortunate, are still better off than the people that are overseas in different places. We're still you can still be poor here and be at the top. You know, you got to really realize that having a car, no matter how raggedy, having a car puts you in a position that you're in a position that most of the people on this planet are in. So you guys got to realize that right there alone makes for a lot of entitled people. You know, I understand that there are a lot of entitled people. There are a lot of entitled people, you know, rich and poor. That's the crazy thing about America. That's how good America is, that you can have entitled people from all walks of life. And then they are so entitled and they're so brainwashed that they don't pay attention to what's going on out here. You know, they don't pay attention until it's too late. You know, you want to spend money, you know, continue to spend money and do those things. And then, you know, you're looking up and then you're in a position that you never would have thought you were in. Let's see what I got right here. Because make sure that you can see me. Get that video capture. And this thing is crazy sometimes. But yeah, let's do the live screen only, screen number 2, and that is not the screen capture. All right, there we go. Yeah, when you close this, you close OBS sometimes. That's something you guys need to realize if you're using OBS too. If you're minimizing a tab and you go to do something else, it kind of freezes where you were in the screen. So you got to remember to kind of refresh and come back into it, and then you'll be all right. All right, this article says life. Get out of here. We don't need you right there. We don't need no stinking ad. Life getting more expensive by the day. Amid inflation, 32% of Americans are struggling to pay their bills. It said the price is rising nearly across the board. It's getting harder for basic necessities, causing some Americans to fall behind, to the point where 32% of adults have paid a bill late in the past 6 months, according to recent reports by LendingTree. And 61% of them said it's because they didn't have enough money on hand to cover the cost. Now that's happening to everybody. That's happening to everybody, or especially the people that did not get that off of there. That's happening to the people that did not pay attention. That's happening to the people that were living on the high hog, and regardless of where they were in life, and not having the savings there to cushion this inflation. And then eventually that savings would run out. So you needed the cushion to stop yourself from feeling such a crunch so fast, a rapid crunch, and eventually having to have the discipline to scale back your cost of living, what you were doing, the way you were spending, the way you were living, having to scale back and really adjust to the inflation. But a lot of people weren't. A lot of people that were in credit, having multiple credit cards. These are the things, kind of like that what happened to the people during the housing bubble, and the subprime lending practices that they had. All of a sudden, they could afford it, and then those rates switch, and all of a sudden they don't. A lot of people didn't have it. This have affected people all across the board, and especially if you're not making a certain amount of money. It really puts you in a position, a bind. Now, see, this is the kind of thing. These are the kind of inflation and recession things that will put people in a position to not really work. You see it now. After COVID happened, people didn't want to go back to work. Why? To go back to pay these living and working hard to making a decent wage, to really understanding that jobs and people didn't really care about you like you thought they were going to care about you. They didn't really have your back like they once did, and the money just didn't go as far as it did before. So if you weren't making a certain amount of money that you would protect you or help you, they just didn't come back to work. So you got a bunch of people who just do not care anymore. So it said at this to that point, 32% of adults have paid a bill late, like I said, in the past 6 months, according to that lending tree, and 61% of them said because they didn't have the money to cover the cost. About 40% said they are less able to afford their bills compared with 1 year ago. The report found most said they fell behind on utility bill, credit card payment, or cable and internet. All right, you see those two right there. These two right there, the cable and internet. Let's go to a full screen. Cable and internet. These are the things that should not matter. Those are the things that should not matter in a time, in a crisis like this. And if you don't like to sit here in these long live streams and chill out with me, make sure you come back to my channel. I have a video posted right after, maybe 15 minutes after I do this live stream, especially talking to the men that are finna get hit by this recession. Due to this inflation, they're going to hit right this recession crunch, and you are a man. And if you are a man and you're listening to me, and if you're one of my loyal subscribers, know that you are the man, you are the head, and there should be nobody in your house that is going through any kind of hardship because you had to pay an internet bill or a cable bill. That internet bill, that cable bill does not mean, or it's not more important than feeding your family. Yes, we shouldn't be in this position. Yes, we might have should have zigged when we should have zagged and made different decisions. But of course, we're here and we have responsibilities. And that cable bill and that internet bill is not worth your family struggling. It'll be there. It'll be there when it's there. You can always come back. You can always come back and get those things, but it's not important. Those are the things that they make you feel like they're important. It's part of the, especially that internet, it's part of the addiction. That's part of the addiction. And you don't need them. You don't always need them. Life is getting more and more expensive by the day, and it's shrinking. And it's shrinking Americans. Already tiny financial margin for era down to zero. Said Matt Schultz of Lending Tree, chief credit analysis. And it's probably do this thing because a lot of these people get these loans and they can't pay these loans anymore. So these are the people who analyze and are able to crunch these numbers to know whether or not to give you these loans. So now I guarantee you have people behind on their Lending Tree loans, behind on different loans that that don't really make sense or don't really make sense, but don't really matter. Not ahead of paying bill, house bills, food, and petrol, gasoline. All right, let me check right here in the chat too, real quick. I need another screen. I need a third monitor. Yes, bells. Hit that like button. Hit that like button on your way in. If you appreciate me and you appreciate the channel, you will hit that like button. Guess I can stop right now and get a drink of water. Hit that like button. Hit the like button on your way in. You are at the Thought and Talk Podcast. You're at the Thought and Talk Podcast with Aaron EBM. And I appreciate you being here tonight. We're just talking a little bit about the inflation and the inflation leading to the recession, and the people that should be paying attention to it, that should be ready to deal with it, aren't really ready to deal with it. But that's why we're here. Get that back up there. All right. They say unless they've been able to increase their income, millions of Americans have to take sacrifices because of inflation to pay the bills, he added. Many have to make sacrifices. That's the most of Americans, and they do not care. The people do not care. And I don't care, I don't care about Democrats. I don't care about Republicans. I really don't. Some people get in front of you and tell you, they don't care about either one. There's two sides of the same coin. But I'm a realist. I understand what's going on. I understand what is really going on. I understand the people that really want you to be dependent on them. And you guys know which one they are. They want you to be totally and utterly dependent on them. And that's what they do, because that's how they get votes. But we're not going to be like that. You guys remember that we didn't always have these safety nets. We didn't always have these things to help us out. Sometimes we had to help each other. And the way we helped each other is by lending hands, by being able to understand the barter system, by being able to understand that we had talents, gifts, and different abilities to help us make it through things. And it will continue to be so. Things have not changed. Even though we are living in the era of the influencer, we're living on the era of the mindless, gutless slave who continues to sit there and either show their abs or show their body on the internet to get paid. The utter and the innate sense of self-worth and self-being is still there. And if you are making a living that is not with your hands, so if you are not a civil engineer, you are not a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, a surgeon, a medical some sort of medical practitioner using your hands, you are not safe. You can be touched by this. And I tell you, the men that listen to me need to know and need to understand, no matter what a part of life you're in, no matter if you're a white collar or blue collar in between, you need to know how to use your hands for multiple things, because those are the things that continue to make money. Those are the things that continue to put food on the table, regardless of whatever the liberal institution told you that you don't, that your basket weaving degree or that your social studies degree will be worth everything in the world. They are not. If you're not using your hands in some way, shape, or form or fashion, you are not safe. There is no doubt. I need glasses. Persistent inflation has weighed on consumers, leaving more Americans living paycheck to paycheck. The Consumer Price Index, which measures the average change in price for consumer goods and services, rose higher than expected. 8.3% in August, driven by increased food, shelter, and medical costs. Yes, don't forget about that old medical costs. Hey, but what we got that affordable health care that makes sure that you can have zero cost health care plans for you at your access, continuing to make you more and more dependent on the government and make you a slave to them. Remember that nothing is free. They make you feel like no matter what they tell you, no matter how they make you feel, nothing is free. Somebody has to pay for that stuff. Somebody has to pay for that free health care. Somebody had to pay for those rockets that's overseas that are being shot overseas and given to different governments. You guys know the ones. People always got to pay for them, regardless of what you see, what you think, and that goes for everything. I don't care if we're talking about reparations. If they give reparations out, somebody's going to have to pay for them. It'll end up making more and more inflation, and then they'll blame everybody that got that money for the current economy. Although real average hourly earnings will climb a seasonal adjusted 0.2% for the month, they remain down 2.8% from a year ago. So it goes up 2%, then it's down 3%. So it's one step forward, two steps back. You guys remember that song? That was that Paula Abdul, one step forward, two steps back. That's how it goes. Every year, we already seen it. You get a raise at the work, you feel good, you feel happy, you got an extra $50 or $100 on every paycheck, and then what happens? Your medical premiums go up, the other things go up, cost of living goes up, and then you end up making less money than you did before you got the raise. That's how it's been going. That's how inflation has been going, and that's why you see jobs with robots. You see jobs with robots because they know they don't want to have to pay these people. They're trying to figure out every way up and down that they don't have to pay you, that they can get rid of you, and they're going to do it. They're going to do it by any means necessary. You see it all the time. Do I have the video? I might not have the video back up. I don't think I have the video back up of the Denny's The Denny's robot waiter. They got robot waiters at Denny's. Not like the waiters were good anyway, but they got robot waiters at Denny's. Let's check out the chat. Do we got any new chats in here? Let's see what we got going on. Let's see. Bell said foreign aid needs to stay here. Yes, foreign aid needs to stay here. We help others before we help. You said we help here. We help others. I hate this thing. Before we help others. Yeah, I got it now. All right. We need to stay here before we help others. That is correct. That is correct, Bells. Make sure that they can all see your chat because you have some valuable information. Now I can't see. I hate this thing sometimes. Deactivate. All right. All right. Yeah, the money needs to stay here. And some colleges have robots bring food around. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that, Bells. We have robots at campus to give the kids food, to bring food around. Now, it's not like if anybody could pay people, it should be these institutions. But they're not. It's all over. It's all over the place, and it's not going to get better. You guys think it's going to get better? You guys think it's going to get better? They're going to figure out the magic. They're going to figure out the magic, the way to make this stuff happen until they don't need you anymore, until they can get rid of you. And it's a shame, but it is what it is. Let's see. Said those. Make sure you guys can see this. Those struggling to afford their day-to-day lifestyle tend to rely more on credit cards and carry higher monthly balances, making them financially vulnerable. This is something I've dealt with, and most people have, because they without discipline, without financial, without that financial literacy that we talk about all the time, you will come prey to the predator. And don't get me wrong, money is and finances and credit cards are a tool. But if you don't know that, you can play with them, and it can be just as harmful as any other dangerous object that is a tool. So you guys need to understand that those things right there are not bad things, and you really need to think that credit, you really don't have credit. You have to treat it like you don't have it. And that's the thing, we want to buy now and pay later and pay those monthly interest rates, and payments, and end up paying all this interest. And it's really not for it. You don't have to do it like that. Anything you buy on a credit card, you should be able to pay right off. But that takes discipline, and it takes discipline not to use it when you don't need, especially when you don't need it. Americans must create a contingency plan to handle not only increasing interest rates, but also high prices on basic necessities, said Alan Amid, president and CEO of American Consumer Credit Counseling. Americans must create a contingency plan. What does that mean? They must create a contingency plan. Get to the chopper! They must create a contingency plan. What does that mean? When they see they use things like this in these articles, so the things that you really don't understand. These means that a contingency plan is a savings. You need a savings to handle not only increasing interest rates, but also high prices on basic necessities. So they're saying you need a nest egg, so you'll be able to draw out of that nest egg, so you don't have to pay money on that credit card or go out and buy a loan to buy basic goods. You want to be able to, they don't want you to, they telling you right now, get that thing there, activate again. They're telling you right now that you need to have a savings, that you need to make sure that you have some sort of money and you're not relying on these financial institutions to help you get from day to day. That's not what they're for. They're not helping. They're not there supposed to help you from day to day or week to week. These are things that really are to help build credit for. They're really not. That's what they're there for. They're not there to make sure that you have a safety net. And what happens, just like payday loans, just like those god awful things, just like those, that the payday loan should be illegal. Payday loans should be illegal. I don't know how they get away with payday loans right now, but what payday loans do is actually make you in worse shape than you ever had before you even got them, giving more and more money to those payday loan places and putting you in a position to where you can't do anything but continue to take out those payday loans. Those things are horrible. That's like but payday loans are illegal loan shark institutions. That's what they are. Legal loan shark institutions. And I don't know how they're legal, but they shouldn't be legal. They should be like erased from the face of the earth. Most financial experts recommend having at least 6 months worth of expenses set aside in an emergency fund. However, Rose Nyang, director of financial planning at Eldman Financial in Engines or whatever, advises clients to save closer to 12 months, considering inflation and clear slowdown in the economy. See, these are things that they don't tell you a year. So if you're making $80,000 a year, you need to have at least $80,000 in a savings account for you to use in case of bad things happening, in case things like pandemic when you're furloughed, in case things like that come about, you'll have that money there to hold you afloat until you are back on your feet. But 80 to 90% of the people in America aren't ready for that. They don't have that, and they are living that way, not because they have to or not because somebody's telling them to. We're just so used to living these lavish lives of luxury. And of course, I know most of us are just, regular people. I am your favorite neighbor or regular neighborhood guy. So I understand I'm not a famous person. I'm not a famous person. So I understand where they're coming from. But we need to listen. As long as we're on this earth, as long as we're still working and we are at our prime age, we have time to put that money aside. We have time to put, if not all of that money, some of that money aside so we can be there. And there's no reason or no way that we shouldn't be in that place of doing that. But it is what it is. And women, we talk all the time about women taking these trips. Women are forever taking these trips, and they say, they forever. What is the thing they say all the time? I like to travel. I like to travel. I haven't seen managerial people in managerial positions. I haven't seen people making six figures go on some of the trips and talk about traveling like some of these average people talk about traveling. Just because you can afford the plane ticket, just because you can afford the swimsuit, just because you can afford those crab legs on that boat does not mean you can afford it. Just because you can pay for it, just because you got the money to go, doesn't mean you can afford that trip. There's no reason for a person that doesn't have at least half the amount of that money that we're talking about a year in a savings account to be going on a trip like that every year. Those struggling to afford day-to-day lifestyle tend to rely more and more on credit cards and carry higher monthly balances, making them more financially vulnerable. Most financial experts recommend having at least 6 months, like I said, but you need to have 12 months. It's better to have 12 months. And that's the end. That's the end of that article. These people continue. These are the people that are... These are the people that are the experts. I'm not an expert. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just saying the things that we don't that most people don't want to say, that some people think about at night before they go to sleep, or some people stay up and can't go to sleep at night because they're thinking about these bills that they have. They're thinking about having to learn, how do you feed the kids over here, and how do I pay this $200 utility bill over here, and then how do I pay this $150 electric bill over here, or not a utility bill, but it's cable bill, and how do I afford to do this? And then but we want to go out and eat here still, and we want to go do this still, and then we want to go to Six Flags still, and we still want to go over here still. And I'm telling you, I'm saying the thing that people don't want to say. I'm telling you the things that people don't want to tell you, because I'm just like you and I understand. You can't do all that. Sometimes you have to make the sacrifices. And of course, the people in the community, we're going to talk about the community for a minute, have been trained and taught not to have to sacrifice, because why? Their mother, their mother had to sacrifice. Their father had to sacrifice. You had to, you went to college and took out all those loans. So you be damned if you had to sacrifice once you get this good job. You shouldn't have to sacrifice. You should just spend it all up the way you want to spend it, because you worked hard for it, correct? You worked hard for it. So you shouldn't have to do any of that. You shouldn't have to do any of that. You should be able to do all what you want to do. You should be able to go spend the money the way you want to spend it. And you shouldn't have to answer to anybody. You should just be able to be reckless, because they've taught all of us, especially of our women, that they can't be told or can't be trained or can't be helped by anybody but somebody else in the same position they're in. And somebody in the same position they're in aren't going to be the people to tell them what to do. Why? Because as soon as you get ready to tell them people what to do, they'll be quick to tell you that, who are you to tell me anything? Because you're in the same position I'm in. You're in the same position I'm in, so who are you to tell me anything about what is going on in my life? Get some of this computer real quick, guys. Get this stuff posted. Oh man, I forgot. Forgot to get that too. Get that. Sorry about that for all that clicking. All right. I got that done. I had to do some sharing. How is everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody is well. I don't think I asked you how you guys are doing. I don't think I asked you, are you well? So I apologize if I didn't get to ask you how you were doing. Let me check my chat. Let's see what Bell said. Hopefully. You said we need to bring back. Yeah, we need to bring back. Let's say. Yeah, we need to bring back bartering with other families. Why this freaking thing always freezes up? Said we need to bring back bartering with other families. Of course we need to bring back bartering. We're getting to a point where we have to. I think we need to barter. We should be bartering. There shouldn't be a reason that we shouldn't know the families that's around us and have a stable group of at least 5 families that we can draw off of. We can draw energy. We can draw ideas. We can draw talents from each other and be able to give each other the things that the other person cannot do. That of course we need to. There's in reality, a lot of people do this. A lot of different families do this, but unfortunately, a lot of people in the community do not do it because we have been so trained to be so to think that we're superstars, and a lot of us in America period all think we're special and all think that we there's no reason for us to have to, because we're all too good. We're all superstars, and there shouldn't be any reason that we should have to ask anybody or ask for help or anything like that from your neighbor. But of course that's not the way it's going. Hey, we got another one. We got another business. Hey, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. Let me put that pimping in it. Hey, we got Life and Light Learning in the building. How you doing? Make sure you can see that chat. Make sure you can see that Life and Light Learning. We're going to pull that up. I don't like that it's cut off like that, so we're going to pull that up a little bit. I'm going to pull that up, and hopefully you guys can see that. Make sure I don't got your chat chopped off. Yeah. Can you see that? Can everybody see that? Hey, brother, it's Tamika. I'm doing well tonight. Love to hear you hear the good things you are sharing to. Let me get that over there to help. That's the thing about OBS. Hopefully. Sorry, I got you cut off. I don't like that myself. But anyway, I see it. Sharing to help our people. You know, I try, but you know how they are sometimes. Sometimes they stubborn, they don't want to listen. Sometimes they stubborn and they don't want to listen. And it's hard out here. It's hard out here to deal with these people, these hard-headed hooligans. Sometimes all I can do is give them the AK. Sometimes that's all I can do and keep moving. Give them the old verbal drive-by. And keep going, because I ain't got time a lot of the time. I don't got time to mess with them a lot of the time because, you know, the doctor said I was pre-hypertensive. Nope. The doctor said I was pre-hypertensive, and I don't need that. Sometimes I don't need that in my life. Yeah, sometimes I don't need that in my life. It's too much. It begins to be too much for me. I can't deal with it. They don't want to listen. They want to hear how Meg Thee Stallion may or may not got shot in the foot. They want to talk about that. They want to talk about how, God, what is her name? God, they want to talk about how Chrissy and Jim Jones ain't got married after being in a relationship for 72 years. That's the stuff they want to talk about. They don't want to talk about what's going on right in front of them. They don't want to talk about how hard it is and how hard it is for them to pay bills, and everybody knows it, but they want to keep it a secret. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it, but it needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about. What else is going on? Let me see, because I know we got plenty. Yes, and I did read an article. You guys need to really pay attention. I'll put the link up in the description when I'm done with this video. But there are actually a study done about dismissed by degrees. Do you guys have you ever heard of? Make sure you can see this. Have you ever heard dismissed by degrees? How degree inflation is undermining U.S. competitiveness and hurting American middle class. This is something that you guys need to read. I'm not going to go through it, but you know, this is one of the other things that people don't want to talk about because we number one, we've been told that the degrees, you know, is and was and is and in the past, present, and future, the everything of a person's life. But just like everything else, degrees have an economy as well. The college and higher learning and higher education has an economy in itself, and it's just like what is the economics and economy in anyway? When you think about it, in its purest form and fashion, the economy is supply and demand. And when you have a small supply of degree holders and a high demand for the high demand for those degree holders, what happens? Those degree holders make really good money. Those degree holders can write their own ticket. But what happens when the market is flooded? The supply, which degree holders is the supply, degree holders are flooded in the economy. What happens? The degrees become worth less because they have so many people with degrees that they can pick from, and it's happening. It's there, but people in their pride do not want to really look at this. Do not really, you know, give this stuff any attention. But it's real life. It's real life. It's got, at one point it was okay to get different degrees. It didn't matter if you got a basket weaving degree because they were going to hire you and you were going to make good money. But that is no longer so. People have to be strategic about the degrees that they get. And they're not telling you that because so people, especially in the community, have been so browbeaten. They've been so underprivileged. They've been so living the life day to day without having any kind of real goal or having any real meaning or self-worth, that any old degree, telling your kid to go to school for anything and any degree would be good because it's so much better than being in the projects. And it is better than being in the projects. I'm not going to say it's not better than being in the projects, but we can no longer live our lives in this current America. And we shouldn't have been living like this 20 years ago, but in this current America, because that's where I'm in the current, we can't do this. We can't live like this anymore. We can't live on just getting basket weaving degrees. We can't afford it. The black community can't afford it. The community needs to stop it. And we need to really think about what we're doing with our time, because the time is the most precious commodity. Having to spend 10 years going to school and you got that advanced degree in basket weaving doesn't do anything any good for you but to show everybody that you got that basket weaving degree, and then you're able to wave it in other people's face and make them feel less of a person because you got that basket weaving degree and they don't. That becomes all of what happens to that with that degree, and the power that you have with that degree is telling other people that you're better than them because they don't have a said basket weaving degree. That's what happened. But this is a good article. You guys need to really go through this article. If you like to read, I'm going to post this link in the description of that video, and you guys need to really go through that and see what I'm talking about. These things are real. Degrees are an economy themselves, and we're at the point to where you can't do that anymore. You can't be like that anymore, and you guys got to keep doing that. You guys got to realize that game's over for that. The game's over for that. Nobody cares about the kind of degree you have anymore. Not that. Said Triple H in the building. Why you call me Triple H? Why you call me Triple H, Bells? What did I do? I don't think they can see you anyway. Let me make sure that they can see you, because Bells just called me Triple H. Bells just called me Triple H, and I don't know why. Why did you call me Triple H? We got to figure out why this thing keeps deactivating my screen anyway. But why'd you call me Triple H? What did I do? Is it the glasses, or because I said I ain't want to play the game and I couldn't play the games with them? Yes, please hit that like button, people. I guess it's time for intermission. You know, we almost been here for an hour, but if you are new here, if you've never been here before, I am Aaron EBM. And this is a Thought and Talk podcast. I appreciate it. Today's episode is the recession and the looming economic wasteland that's going to be here in the next 5 years if we don't really pay attention. And it's no reason for us to struggle if we don't have to. Yes, things will not be the way they were yesterday or in yesteryear, but you can learn how to be a survivor. You can learn how to be better. You can learn. There's no reason for you not to learn how to handle yourself, how to make that money work for yourself, and how to make that money stretch like Super Stretch Armstrong. Okay. Like Super Stretch Armstrong, because we don't want to be here out on the streets. We don't want to be in here eating dog food or cat food, and we don't want to be in here sleeping outside on a park bench. Oh, hell no! Okay. That's what we're not going to do, and that's where the people that are watching me, the people that are gladly a part of this channel, the people that have been here from day one, the great 21 people that watch my video every week of the 464 people who are active subscribers to the channel. Those 21 people that watch these videos every day, I appreciate you, and I thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Spread the word, because you know I will always be here for you guys if you guys are here with me. Life and life learning, yes. We got to keep thinking beyond these degrees. Yes, and this is where you get into arguments with people. This is where you get into the arguments with people, because they really... I understand that you spend a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of moolah going to school, and nobody wants to feel like they wasted time, because time is a precious commodity. Time, if you ask me, is the most valuable commodity, because you cannot get it back. This whole economy that we live in, if you really think about it, if you stop for a minute and think about it, we are selling, or we are trading our time for money. We are trading our time, our precious time, for money. And nobody wants to think like their time is wasted. But you guys got to remember, these companies are changing. The corporations are going through a massive restructuring. They had started 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more than that, that have been really changing the way they operate. That are not really taking the degrees like they were and making those mid-level jobs. Those jobs they are filling by people for less money with 9 degrees. It's getting harder out there for people. And yes, everybody can't be a doctor. Some people are meant to be doctors. Some people are meant to be lawyers, and more power to them. God bless you. If you've been blessed with those talents, you've been blessed with those hands, please use the gifts that God has given you. And for the people who have those gifts and people that have blessed to make more, those are the people that don't need to squander those gifts and really put themselves in a position that they can really change the trajectory of what's going around them. Everybody always talks about how somebody's going to change the community and what people are doing, but nobody's doing anything, in their homes or in their everyday. They're looking for this big thing. They were looking for the ocean to be boiled and the ocean to be boiled over and things to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen like that. And people really need to realize that they hold the keys. Especially if they've been blessed like that. Let's see if we got some more people in the chat. I appreciate you. The people making this show really interactive tonight. Bell said, or the fact that Walmart CEO said, let's see, what did you say? I hate this thing is cutting off my chat. I'll fix it though. You said Walmart. See, you said what is. Anyway, I'll read it in there. I don't know why this thing's cutting my chat off. But okay, you didn't finish it. He said the Walmart CEO said he would close all the stores worldwide and raise the price, and theft doesn't slow down. Hold on. Oh man, I don't know what I said. It's so long ago. I don't know what it said. He said he would close this. He would close all the stores worldwide and raise prices if the theft didn't slow down. Well, you know where those stores are closing down at. You already know where those stores are closing down at, right? I know where those stores are closing down at. I give you guys a guess. Where you guys get? You guys want to guess where those stores are closing down at? Yeah, I know where they're closing down at. They're closing down at the same place where they got to be glued and stuff like that, locked in behind lock and key at. That's where that's closing at. Let me see. Never mind, they lose $1 billion every year. However, net 400 plus billion in sales make it make sense. You know what? Yeah, but that's what they do. That's their company. I can't get mad at them. They want to close it and lose. I mean, it'll be a flex. It will be a flex. I don't know where they want to go, but that's what it is. In all actuality, they say they lose $1 billion or say lose 4. When you're working in these companies, when you're at the bottom line matters. If they can shut down 12 stores and save them, those billions, they won't care. That way, if they save $3 billion and they only have $1 billion in loss after a few years, of course it'll be better than losing that 4 every year. That's just the way it goes. They don't, everybody's a number. This isn't the 1950s, 60s, and 70s where these companies really care about, the people because they came up with the company. No, these people are, numbers. They are, numbers on the notebook. They're numbers in the notepad. That's what you end up being. You're just a fact, a figure. And when those numbers are in the red, they can't have that. And if they have to get rid of you, they'll get rid of you. And I'm not one to believe that you shouldn't work or give your all. I've been working, over a decade, same company. So I understand when you have to, you work, that's what you do to make a living. You put, that's what you do to put food on the table. That's what it's all about. But now it's become really a thin line to where you don't want to get mistreated, or you don't want to put in so much, or use that valuable time, use up your current time currency to just be treated like another figure. Let's see. Bill said something else. What's going on, Clarissa? How you doing? Let me get what I got for you. I got something for you. Hell, this'll work. How you doing, Clarissa? Appreciate you for coming by tonight. Appreciate you for being here. I appreciate all you guys do. You guys could be doing anything, but you guys came and chilled out with me tonight for a little bit. What do I have? Where's my thingy? Where's my thingy? Appreciate it. That's the way I feel right now, like a laughing emoji. Hey, y'all like my aviators? I ain't wore my aviators all year, man. I bought these things and I ain't wore these aviators all year. And I felt, when I did my content, my pre-record video, which will be up after this live stream, 15 to 20 minutes after this live stream, it will be up for you guys to view at your viewing pleasure and at your own discretion. But I have not wore these glasses in a long time, so I said it's time to come out in good air and EBM fashion and put these glasses on. Yes, because that's what I do. It doesn't always make sense, but like Will Smith said in the immortal words of Will Smith, I make this look good. All right, guys, what is going on? If there is nothing else to say tonight, if nobody else has a topic of discussion tonight, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So what you guys feel? You guys feel like we should be good tonight, or you guys feel like we can call it a night? It's up to you guys. I just appreciate you guys came out and got interactive. You guys could have been doing anything. You guys could have been eating bowls of greens, chitlins, collard greens, whatever it is you guys eat. You could have been eating it. Whatever it was, hog mogs, sweet potatoes, pizza. You guys could have been doing anything, watching football with your loved ones, but you're messing around with me tonight and getting it in here, and I appreciate it. I really do. Oh man, this is the world we living in, though. This is the world we living in, and I told you guys last week that I thought about doing a rebrand. And I always had it in me to help people. I always wanted people to be helpful to people, let people, help people, be the best they can be. And that's what I will continue to do, and find an avenue to do that. I want people to do better. I'm not the type of person that does not want those people to do better. And, that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm going to continue to do that. I think it's good. Hello. Yes. It's all for you. I do this for you. I could be doing anything else, but I do this for you. I feel like I've been called. Stop it. I feel like I've been called to do this. So I will continue to do it. Let's see what we got. We got any more people in the chat? We got any more people in the chat? So we got that. Life and life learning. Always good to me. I appreciate my sister. Life and life learning. I appreciate you. You already know I do. I don't even want to get in here. People don't even know my business, but I appreciate you. Appreciate all that you do. People are going to be the people that they are. They're going to continue doing all this crazy stuff, you know, and it's good. And don't get me wrong. It's good to talk about, you know, this stuff that's going on in the media. You know, it's good. You know, who doesn't like to find out if Megan Thee Stallion got shot in the foot by Tory Lanez? You know, did the bullet wound go out one side? Did the bullet wound bounce off the ground and ricochet and hit her in the big toe? Did the bullet come out, you know, and get sewed up the same night? Why, you know, did the police see the bullet wound? Was she able to twerk effortlessly on that bullet wounded foot? Was she able to maximize and, you know, the efforts that she had because of she had that bullet wound on her foot? You know, these are the things that people think about all the time, and it's okay to talk about them all sometimes. You know, was she able to, you know, efficiently and effortlessly spin and twerk on that foot? These are the things that we want to know. These are the things we want to know. And it's okay. I want to tell you that it's not the only thing. We need to focus. Sometimes we need to focus, and there's so much out here negative, and I feel like I need the light to be the positive. Oh man. I think I'm gonna make that it, guys. I appreciate it. It is 9:00 and I need to post that video for you guys like I told you I would. And I'm gonna get right into that, guys. So I appreciate it. So I don't want to listen to that. That's not the right song. Gonna listen to this on the way out. Hopefully. Oh, now you don't want to work for me? There you go. No, you didn't. Tell you about this technology sometime. Jesus. Guess it was the internet connection. So guys, I appreciate it. Like I said before, I don't want to continue to ramble. So I appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good night. You guys have a good Friday. And you never know, I might be back in here this weekend. But like I said, I've got to get back on these pre-records, and that's what I'm going to do. Ideas are always welcome, so I appreciate it. If you got any ideas, you can please email me or get in the comment section. We can talk about it later. Until next time, everybody. Peace. I'm out of here.